How you a rapper and you ain't got no money? Let's go band for band right now. I go by the name of Hemingway. I'm a hip hop artist and creator, and I've been releasing music for well over 10 years, and I'm still at it. I got some independent information that came across the timeline this weekend, so I decided to bring it to the squad. Let's talk about it. I got a couple videos that inspired this particular video that I just came across this weekend, and ultimately the main thing is just like, you know, the view and the mindset that artists have that actually want to do this full time, and how it has to eventually shift in order to really make progress with this whole thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and let the first one rock. I got Toby Nwigwe. He's actually talking about like the hardest lesson he had to learn in his music career so far, and I can totally relate because I'm just coming off the, you know what I'm saying, the backside of that bridge myself. So
the toughest lesson that I've learned in my journey in music is that nobody cares if you good. Nobody cares. People care if you consistent and if you can execute at a high level. Nobody cares if you just good and you have a skill set. I learned real quick, like your gift will make room for you, but that don't necessarily mean that you gonna get paid. Cause you got a gift don't mean you finna make money. You gotta have a whole bunch of different other intangibles if you're trying to get paid. If I could talk to the young Toby right now, I would say, hey, before you get involved in doing everything that you're doing wholeheartedly, figure out what your purpose is.
All right, so that was Toby Nwigwe. If y'all don't know who he is, he's to my knowledge still an independent artist from Texas. I think I don't know if he's from Houston, but definitely from Texas. And been doing this thing for a while now. He actually came up under E.T., the hip hop preacher, who's a motivational speaker. A lot of people don't know that, so it's actually crazy just like where his beginnings really started at. But with what he's talking about, man, you know, if you do this long enough, you learn that people don't really care about the shots that you're putting up or the steps you're taking necessarily, but they do pay attention to the consistency. So that's one of the lessons that, you know, you eventually will learn early on. For me personally, I learned it early on, and I understood that you have to be consistent, but I also was trying to figure out how to be consistent in the best way possible for me without making it harder on myself. And being that I am a completely DIY, I've learned different traits. So I've had my years where I've stopped and started or kind of focused on different areas of the craft, like maybe engineering one, you know, for a certain amount of years, maybe videography a few years, stuff like that. So now I'm at a point to where also with the type of content I'm creating outside of my music, I actually know what I'm trying to drop, and like I know my angle now as far as me telling my story and giving the information and the knowledge that I have as an independent to other independents that are more than likely on the come up and need those very niche, very small, very in the beginning tidbits of information and shit like that I didn't necessarily have when I first started out. And it's forever, you know, it's ever changing, but still somebody giving you a little bit of information can kind of send you down a path to where you could figure something out on your own. So that's, you know, that's also a hurdle that I've crossed. And then also, like he said, just figuring out your purpose in this thing. Like overall, there's some people who I do think their purpose is to create and is their art to a degree, but we are also so much more than just that. And in the beginning, I thought that would be just my purpose. I do feel like music is a vessel and an outlet for me to live out my purpose. My purpose is to conquer myself as a man and just to be a model of that to the young men and the men around me in my life. You know, obviously living up under the likeness of God and stuff like that, but just trying to be the best person I could be, you know, just stay prayed up, being a good person, and really, you know, conquer myself in a sense of just discipline, mindset, self-control, things like that. The next video that I have is actually Boogus. Boogus is one of the guys who came up with Russ, and they are, to my knowledge, actually real friends, but he handles a lot of things on the label side, and he's an artist himself. So he's talking about just the mindset of artists really trying to do this thing full time.
Want to do this for a living, you need to be thinking about money. Right. If you want to do it for a living, if you want it to be a hobby, then yeah, it doesn't matter what it does when it drops. It doesn't matter if it sells well or streams well, and you don't ever have to think about money. Just keep it as a hobby. But the second you're trying to live off of what you just recorded, you need to have some type of money mindset, because it's going to cost you money to make the song. And then you also need to think about how you're going to make at least the money you spent recording back.
For sure.
At least, unless, like I said, you're in just a unique situation where money's not an object.
Now it's this is a dope point, because if you're really trying to do this full time, like you said, you have to eventually shift your mindset. And I know a lot of artists, we come into this thinking that the music is gonna take us all the way to the moon, and it's not. The music ain't gonna take us all the way to the destination we trying to reach. It's gotta be, just like even Toby said, it's gotta be more tangible things other than just the music. And in order to create those things or obtain those things, you have to have a money mindset as far as how to stay afloat at the very minimum. Back in the end of 2009, I started making music, and then by 2010 I released my first mixtape. So at that point I started pressing up my own copies and burning them myself and everything like that, buying 100 pack of CDs. You know, to the people that's been doing it long enough, that come from the end of that era, y'all know what I'm talking about. But coming off the tail end of that era, it made more sense to me with the physical, as far as selling and hustling with the physical. I wasn't even on my merch necessarily at that time, but I used to always keep CDs with me, always like hustling CDs and handing some out for free. I would sell some of them, still trying to figure out that wave, but I was just starting out making music. So, you know, it wasn't all great as far as the quality and everything like that. Once I got to the point to where that was, you know, let's say 2010, by 2012 officially streaming was a thing. Obviously we already had SoundCloud kicking at that point and stuff like that, but Spotify and iTunes by 2012, and definitely by 2014 streaming was, 2012 was like it's officially here, and by 2014 it was like established, like this is how we rock and this is the metrics now, this is how, you know, this is the thing. So like I said, I'm in different phases of learning different aspects of the craft, where I was like learning stuff for engineering, and so at these times I wasn't necessarily focusing on marketing myself as an artist, and I also was not really in the mode of selling, because once it went online, to me, I didn't really have, I'd say the first 6 years with me being in between of just like, you know, lifing, I think that I didn't really understand how to approach selling online, even though I saw people doing things with content or whatever. However, it's changed and evolved over the years. I just didn't really know my approach for me as an artist and my vision and stuff like that. And I just got to that space now to where like it's all just clicking. Everything's just clicking. Like my whole system now, it's actually working and flowing for me. So I'm back at a point to where not only I can promote and market myself, but I can confidently sell and actually speak about selling and getting some type of return on my music, which I haven't been doing for a long time online. But with that being said, the last video that I have is actually from the One More Time podcast, and the fellas are just talking about different methods to sell. So, you know, Toby was talking about the whole just the fact that you're gonna need things outside of just the music. You're gonna have to create some type of other tangible things that you can utilize to stay afloat and scale your business as an artist. Boogus was talking about actually the mindset changing and having a money mindset. And this is with the One More Time crew is actually talking about a method, different methods that you can use. But this is one method that is, I think that direct to consumer is the way to go.
All artists broke
because they pay for goddamn everything.
Everything.
I think there's a problem.
I think we have a system set up where artists are being paid less than ever, but they're expected to pay out more than ever to all their different team members.
Everyone works for the artist. Manager, tour manager, day-to-day manager, agent, production crew, producer, engineer, mix engineer, master engineer.
Now, I haven't reached the space where I have any managers, no touring, nothing like that. But once you get down to the actual creation of the music, I wear all those hats. So that is where I personally, I wasn't able to invest a lot of money over time, but I've invested a lot of time over time. That's why I keep mentioning my phases of me being deep diving into engineering, deep diving into videography. The first 3-4 years was me just rapping, you know, and still engineering myself, but I wasn't worried about mixing at that point. And so it was all just levels and increments and me learning different things. But that was because not only was I interested in doing it all, but also after the first or second year, I realized, okay, this saves me money. If I can engineer myself, I can save money and I can make money engineering for other artists. So
engineer. All of that comes out of the artist's budget or out of the artist's revenues. And to your point, they're making less.
0.3 of a penny.
How do we change this?
I think this is why companies like even.biz are becoming successful, allowing artists to sell directly to their fans. They're monetizing more. And just in general, artists need to be like looking into other stuff they're interested in, like their hobbies, and finding ways to monetize outside of just the music alone.
Bro, the amount of times that I've fucked with an artist, like whether it's a piece of content or a song or whatever that gets me excited about them and their world, gone to like their link in bio and not been able to do anything other than stream the song.
You can't contribute more than 0.3 of a penny.
Take my fucking money, bro.
Yeah, man, and that's big right there at the end for sure. So not only do you want to get to the point to where your mindset is on money and you actually have some methods in place to make money, but also having enough things in place for people to purchase outside of just music. I've heard it before, but it was just recently referenced to me with DJ Chuck T when I went through his music business class, and he's a big DJ out here in the Carolinas and in the South in general, but just well-known DJ overall. I think he called it the $100 rule. But at the end of the day, as an artist, if somebody's a super fan and they want to come up to you and spend $100, like they don't want no change or nothing, they want to spend the whole hundo with you, do you even have enough stuff for them to purchase that's not just your music catalog for them to spend the whole 100 piece? You know, is it merch? Is it different types of products? Maybe because when we think merch, a lot of people just think, you know, it's actual t-shirts, but different types of merchandise, bottles, you know, cups, stuff like that. You got to have something else outside of the music. But them mentioning even.biz, I haven't utilized it. I'm not sure if it's open to everybody. I know when I first heard about it through LaRussell, it was like either invite only, or it was like, I think it was Apple only or something as far as the app. I'm not sure. I got to go back down the rabbit hole to check it out. But me personally, I have my own site, hemingway.com. Obviously, that's why I always have it posted right here. Oh, I'm sorry, right here. And you know, that's where I put all my music at and everything. And I also have merch up there. I got a couple of templates that I use. I have my Waves template up there for sale, and I also have my factory template up there for sale. My regular Still At It t-shirts up there for sale if y'all want to go check those out. And then right now I have one free daily planner download. I'm eventually going to do a planner book or booklet. And you know, all those items are things that I'm going to put on my site. But I've gone through so many trials and error phases of, you know, just different types of brands and t-shirts and stuff like that, to where like now I understand where I'm trying to go with like my overall brand and my overall vision. But you know, the method is in place. You know, I have the site, the method's in place. You can stream on there and everything like that. That's the way you kind of want to have it set up. You gonna need to find your purpose in this thing, because you, as a creative, your mind can kind of be all over the place, but figure out where you're trying to go. Like, know who you are as an individual, as an artist, and then just make sure you understand that if this is just a hobby, it's cool. But if it's something you really want to do full time, this is a business. You are a brand. This is your business, and you got to approach it as such. It's going to be some time. It's going to be a learning curve. You're either going to have to invest a lot of money up front or invest a lot of time in the long run, and it's going to be a balance of both. It's still going to be, you know, some money spent regardless. But as you figure out exactly where you're trying to go, make sure you get your mindset right on the money, and then just make sure you put your methods in place. And the consistency is the biggest thing about all of this. I am not the most consistent person, but I'm the most persistent person I know. And that's why my whole campaign is pushed by the Still At It phrase, the Still At It hashtag, because I've been doing this shit for a long time and I'm still at it. I ain't going nowhere. I go by the name of Hemingway. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Get down in the comments and let me know where you are in your journey as an artist at this very moment. I'm still trying to cross the threshold of really making money, but I got my systems, my procedures, they're in place. It's just all about staying consistent now, man. So I'm trying to get the squad to rock with me, you know what I'm saying? But until next time, I go by the name of Hemingway. I'm out.